The Senate will come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Bridges. Buckner. Coleman. Cook. Coram. Danielson. Donovan. Fenberg. Fields. Gardner. Janal. Hanson. Heisey. Holbert. Hawkes Lewis. Kirkmeyer. Colker. Lee. Liston. Lundeen. Lundeen. Moreno. Patterson. Priola. Rankin. Rodriguez. Scott.
Here.
Simpson. Smallwood. Sonnenberg. Story. Winter. Woodward. Zenzinger. Mr. President.
Here. With 35 present, 0 absent, and 0 excused, we have a quorum. Would the good senator from Colorado Springs, Senate District 10, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you, Mr. President. Will you all please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our great country? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the journal. Senator Simpson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, colleagues. I move that the reading of the journal of Wednesday, March 31st, 2021 be dispensed with and that the journal be approved as corrected by the secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Change in sponsorship. The following change in bill sponsorship will occur. Senators Donovan and Woodward will be added as joint prime sponsors on Senate Joint Resolution 10 to replace the President. Senate Services.
April 1st, correctly printed Senate Bill 202, 203, 204, 229, 230, 231, 232, SJR 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, correctly engrossed. Senate Bill 143, SJR 7, correctly re-engrossed. Senate Bill 124, 151, 162, 171.
Committee reports.
March 31st, Mr. President, the Committee on Health and Human Services has had in consideration, has had a hearing of the following appointments, recommends their appointments be confirmed. Member of the Colorado Healthcare Affordability and Sustainability Enterprise Chase for a term expiring May 15, 2021. Robert John Vasel of Larkspur, Colorado, served as an employee of a hospital in Colorado, occasioned by the resignation of Catherine Jean Ashenfelter of Dearborn, Colorado, appointed. March 31st, Mr. President, the Committee on Health and Human Services has had in consideration, had a hearing of the following appointments, recommends appointments be confirmed. Member of the Colorado Healthcare Affordability and Sustainability Enterprise Chase for a term expiring May 15, 2023, Jeremy Springson of Highlands Ranch, Colorado, employee of a hospital in Colorado, occasioned by the resignation of Peggy Jordan Burnett of Denver, Colorado, appointed. March 31st, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following House Bill 1123 be amended as follows. So amended, be referred to the committee of the whole with a favorable recommendation. The recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. March 31st, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 181 be amended as follows. So amended, be referred to the committee on appropriations with favorable recommendation. March 31st, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1130 be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. Recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. March 31st, Committee on Education, after consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 185 be amended as follows. So amended, be referred to committee appropriations with favorable recommendation.
Third reading of bills. Final passage. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 143?
Senate Bill 143 by Senators Gardner and Representatives Tipper and Snyder concerning the Uniform Collaborative Law Act.
Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate your indulgence. I move Senate Bill 143 on third reading and final passage.
Is there further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the passage of Senate Bill 143 on third reading and final passage. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused, Senate Bill 143 is passed. Co-sponsors. Mr. Minority Leader, Senators Woodward, Smallwood, Priola, Lee, Kirkmeyer, second reading, general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar, Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of Whole for consideration of general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes having the motion is adopted. The Senate will resolve itself to the Committee of Whole for consideration of general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Zenzinger will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title of all the bills on general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
House Bill 1124 by Representatives Burton, Sopler, and Senators Lee concerning an expansion of the ability to conduct business activities electronically.
Majority Leader Finberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the adoption of all the bills on the consent calendar, which includes House Bill 1124.
Is there any discussion on the bill on consent calendar?
Just
Seeing none, the motion for the body is the adoption of all the bills on general order, second reading of bills consent calendar. All of those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The aye has it, and the bill is adopted. Majority Leader Fenberg.
Aye. Sure.
Minority Leader Holbert. Majority Leader Fenberg.
thank you, Madam Chair. Just making sure everyone's paying attention. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the body to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee had a fascinating bill under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report as had in consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof makes the following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1124 passed on second reading in order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the adoption of the report.
The motion is for the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. House Bill 1124 passed on second reading, order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. General order, second reading bills. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the committee of whole for the consideration of general orders, second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The Senate resolve itself in the committee of whole for consideration of general order, second reading of bills. And Senator Zenzinger will take the chair.
Committee will come to order. The coat rule is relaxed, but only if you are wearing a purple jacket in favor of the Rockies. Purple ties count. Just kidding. You can all relax. Remove your jackets. Majority Leader Fenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 61 layover until Monday, April 5th.
The motion is to lay over Senate Bill 61 until Monday, April 5th. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is laid over until Monday, April 5th. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1063?
House Bill 1063 by Representatives Lantin and Senators Rodriguez concerning additional means by which credit for reinsurance may be allowed to a domestic seating insurer.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1063.
To the bill?
Yes, this bill is from the Division of Insurance. It is codifying some wording for the National Association of Insurance Commissioners to bring us in line with other states and other countries to line up for extraterritorial reinsurance. This bill has nothing to do with the healthcare reinsurance bills we've done in the past. This is a general business practice for reinsurance for insurance companies when they are exposed to high limits and they need to spread their risk.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1063. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and House Bill 1063 is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1076?
House Bill 1076 by Representatives McCluskey and Will and Senators Donovan and Heisey concerning carpooling service internet applications and in connection therewith requiring that application owners or operators register with the Department of Transportation.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1076, and there were no committee reports.
To the bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill creates a space for carpooling services to start to address the congestion on I-70. It is a first step. Why did we need to do this bill? Well, they were currently being treated with the big guys. They're not exactly a big guy, but they're also a relatively new idea on the scene. So we needed to start to create some framework around for this concept to exist. Ask for your support.
Senator Heisey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What brings us here today is some bright, enterprising person came up with an app to do some carpooling to the ski slopes, reduce the traffic on I-70, and the PUC, the all-knowing PUC, in their infinite wisdom, sent them a cease and desist order. So this will allow a framework for that to happen.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Woodward.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A few folks have asked me why I was a no in committee, and I had a chance to reach out to the founders of TreadShare, which is a small group that got together and developed an app that was that they could use to do some carpooling up and down to go skiing. They were shut down by the PUC, and one of the things that I'm convinced of is we don't need yet another licensing regimen to prevent folks from trying to get into this business if all they're trying to do is carpool and additionally reduce some congestion on I-70.
Senator Quorum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Would the chair consider a conceptual amendment to cease and desist the PUC?
Senator Rankin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just never miss an opportunity to talk about I-70. And, you know, there's a very, very active coalition of folks who look for ways to reduce traffic. I mean, for those of us, and there are several in the room who end up on I-70, Thursday, Friday, I'll be there this week. You know, anything we can do, small steps, big steps. So this is a good idea.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1076. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1061?
House Bill 1061 by Representative Gray and Senators Hansen concerning the definition of residential land for the purpose of property tax classification.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1061 on second reading.
To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We had great discussion yesterday in committee on this bill. This is a bill designed to create clarity across all 64 counties on how the assessors are treating vacant land, and urge your support of 1061.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Kirkmeyer? So there is an amendment on the desk. Will the clerk please read Amendment L006?
Amendment L006.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Amendment L006.
Fantastic. See, she's new and she gets it. Way to go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. So we did hear this bill in committee the other day in local government. And this bill is basically changing the definition of residential land for assessors in doing their assessed valuation. And what the bill is doing is changing, as I said, changing the definition. But what it can do is, if we're not careful, have some unintended consequences of making it so that taxes on property goes from residential assessment, which is 7.1, to essentially vacant, which is 29%, or as I like to say, non-residential. While I can appreciate what the assessors are trying to do with this bill and clean up the definition, I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but clearly there is not a one-size-fits-all with this definition, and this definition is more geared towards the resort communities or mountain communities and doesn't take into account things that happen in agricultural counties or between families. So my first amendment, L006, instead of in the bill where it has that residential land has to have identical ownership to be able to retain, if you buy a parcel next to the parcel that you own, that it would have to have identical ownership to retain the residential value. The bill has said identical ownership, I'm sorry. What the amendment says is actually we're going back to what is used, which is common ownership, but it would be based on that the common ownership would mean that the parcels have the same owners on the record title, except that it's not necessary for all of the owners of the parcel of land with the residential improvement to be listed on the record title. So what has happened, why they want to change this definition, is that people own a piece of residential property with their home on it. They buy the parcel next to it for whatever reasons. Sometimes they're buying it as an investment parcel. I don't have an issue with that. And they might put a different name on it. So it might have, for example, it might have Kirkmeyer, and then it might have Smith LLC on it. And the LLC part would be different from what was on the original parcel of just Kirkmeyer and Kirkmeyer. What my amendment does is, and I'm just going to use my own personal experience here. I helped my daughter and son-in-law purchase property 10 years ago. So it's got my name on it, their names both on it. And it bought their home and bought a small agricultural area in Weld County. If they wish to buy the parcel that is next to them, I would have to put my name on it if this bill passes in the form that it's in. It would have to be an identical ownership. So it would have to have Kirkmeyer, Peebler, and Peebler on it. I don't wish to have to put my name on that other parcel merely for this reason. I would have to then encumber on their loan for that parcel. So what I'm asking for is that instead of identical ownership, that we'd be allowed to have this amendment, that you vote in support of this amendment, which would require common ownership, and that would allow for the basically deletion of a name. It wouldn't allow for the expansion of a name on the ownership. Thank you.
Senator Hansen. Senator Liston.
On the amendment? Should go on the amendment?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I rise in support of L006. I too am on the local government committee. This is a good, well-reasoned amendment, and we debated it, and I can attest to the fact that Senator Kirkmeyer has put a lot of good thought into this, and so I urge and I vote for L006.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Colleagues, I urge a no vote on L006. We did have a chance to discuss the same amendment in committee and came to a negative conclusion. This is an issue that has been well vetted by the courts. The courts have said clearly that the county assessor should not be having to track down what common ownership means. If it's identical, then it's clear, and that's what the courts have ruled. I also want to point out that all the county assessors, including the Weld County assessor, agrees with the bill and not with this amendment. So I urge a no vote on L006.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Kirkmeyer.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I don't believe that's accurate. In speaking with the Weld County assessor, she is in support of this amendment and in support of this discussion. So, and I would just say this. The argument in committee is that the assessors, at least that's what she told me this morning, is that the assessors said that it would be difficult for them to identify identical ownership. I will tell you that in at least all of the major counties, I believe in every 64 county, but I can't say for certain, counties have what's called a GIS system. They identify the parcel, it identifies ownership, and it identifies the names on those properties, and it's pretty much as simple as a push of the button. So I don't think that the assessors having to do maybe a little bit extra work to make sure that there is common ownership is a big issue, especially when the amendment just says if there were 3 people on the original parcel, that if you go and buy the parcel next door, the adjacent property next door, and there are only 2 of the 3 on that parcel, it's still okay. It would still meet in the definition of residential land.
The motion is the adoption of Amendment L006. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The noes have it, and the amendment is lost. There is an amendment on the desk. Will the clerk please read Amendment L007?
Amendment L007.
Senator Kirkmeyer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move L007.
To the amendment?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So again, in changing the residential land definition and what it means, we added in, they're attempting to add in a definition for contiguous. And in this case, in the bill, it says that contiguous means that a parcel is physically touch, makes sense, except that contiguity is not contiguity is not interrupted by a street, an alley, or a common element in common interest in the community. Makes sense if you live in a suburban area and you live in an urbanized area. But out in agricultural areas, as within the amendment that I have, I'm requesting that we add in the words irrigation ditch, pipeline or transmission line right-of-way or easement, or railroad right-of-way or easement. Again, your contiguity should not be interrupted merely because you have an irrigation ditch that lines up or goes through your property, or a pipeline right-of-way, or a railroad right-of-way. So I'm asking for an aye vote on L007.
Senator Liston.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and the good senator from Weld County is correct. Members, if we can map the lunar surface and the Mars surface, we ought to be able to delineate an irrigation ditch or a pipeline or transmission right-of-way, easement, and so forth. So if we can send spacecraft to the far reaches of the universe, surely the good assessors can be able to do this. So I urge an aye vote on L007.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Colleagues, I would urge a no vote on L007. We did discuss an identical amendment in committee. I double-checked with the assessors. Again, the Assessors Association, all 64 of them are in agreement that we have the right language as it currently stands and do not need this amendment. It's already covered in the existing bill language, so I urge a no vote on this amendment.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Amendment L007. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The noes have it, and the amendment is lost. The motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 1061. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill is adopted. Majority Leader Fenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the body will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills in consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1063, House Bill 1076, House Bill 1061, passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 61, laid over until April 5th, 2021, retaining its place on the calendar.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
The motion is for the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. House Bill 1063, House Bill 1076, House Bill 1061 passed on second reading, ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 061 laid over until 4/5/21 and retaining its place on the calendar. Committee reports.
April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 15 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation, with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 38 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation, with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 64 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 72 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 82 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation, with a recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 119 be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 128 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 134 be postponed indefinitely. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 136 be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation, with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 173 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 178 be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation, and with the recommendation to be placed on the consent calendar. April 1st, Committee on Appropriations. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 196 be amended as follows, and as so amended, be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation, and with the recommendation to be placed on the consent calendar.
The Senate will stand in a recess. The Senate will come back to order. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, I think we've all sort of discussed this and everyone should be on the same page, but we will be doing a special order second reading of bills calendar. We will be doing a consent calendar as well as a regular calendar. Mr. President, I move that the Senate take up Senate bills 1538, 82, 136, 178, 196, 192, House Bill 1031, and Senate Bill 30 on special orders at the hour of 9:50 a.m. This thing's really turned up.
The motion is that the Senate take up Senate Bill 215, Senate Bill 238, Senate Bill 82, 136, Senate Bill 178, Senate Bill 196, 192, House Bill 1031, and Senate Bill 30 on special orders. Excuse me, and correction on Senate Bill 015. At the hour of 9:50, this requires a 2/3 majority vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. The Senate will take up the special orders, second reading of bills consent calendar at the hour of 09:50. Special order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes having the motion is adopted. The Senate resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for consideration of special order, second reading of bills consent calendar. Senator Zenzinger will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the coat rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title of all of the bills on special orders, second reading of bills consent calendar?
Senate Bill 15 by Senators Cook and Garcia concerning the stipend for veteran service organizations that provide funeral services for honorary discharged veterans. Senate Bill 38 by Senators Zenzinger and Smallwood, Representative Kennedy and Van Winkle concerning an expansion of the complementary or alternative medicine pilot program for a person with a primary condition resulting in total inability for independent ambulation. Senate Bill 82 by Senators Priola and Representative Mulca concerning authorization for certain alcoholic beverage license holders to hold festivals for alcoholic beverage retail activity. Senate Bill 136 by Senators Janal and Corum and Representative Cutter and Carver concerning the continuation of the Forest Health Advisory Council and in connection therewith implementing the recommendation contained in the 2020 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies to continue the advisory council and continuing it for 5 years. Senate Bill 178 by Senators Moreno and Representative McCluskey concerning the extension of the deadline for the expenditure of money from the CARE subfund and the general fund that corresponds to extension for allowable state expenditures from the federal coronavirus relief fund. Senate Bill 196 by Senators Fenberg and Representative Escar and McKean concerning payment of expenses of the legislative department. Senate Bill 192 by Senators Gonzalez concerning permitting youthful offenders to be housed in the same facility as inmates who mentor youthful offenders. House Bill 1031 by Representatives Doherty and Senators Lee and Gardner concerning continuing jurisdiction to modify family law orders during the pendency of an appeal. Senate Bill 30 by Senators Hobart and Representative Van Winkle and Tatone concerning criminal theft of rental property.
Majority Leader Fenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move for the adoption of all the bills on the special order second reading of bills consent calendar along with their associated committee reports, which include Senate Bill 15 along with the Appropriations Committee report, Senate Bill 38 along with the Appropriations Committee report, Senate Bill 82 along with its Business, Labor, and Technology, Finance, and Appropriations Committee reports, Senate Bill 136, Senate Bill 178, Senate Bill 196 along with its Appropriations Committee report, Senate Bill 192, House Bill 1031, Senate Bill 30 along with its Judiciary Committee report.
Is there any discussion on any of the committee reports on consent calendar? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of all the committee reports on special orders, second reading of bills consent calendar. All of those in favor say aye. Aye. All of those opposed, no. The ayes have it and the committee reports are adopted. Is there any discussion on any of the bills on consent calendar? The motion before the body is the adoption of all the bills on special order, second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are adopted. Majority Leader Finberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report has had in consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bills 15 as amended, 38 as amended, 82 as amended, 136, 178, 196 as amended, 192, 30 as amended, passed on second reading and order engrossed and placed in the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1031 passed on third reading and order revised and placed in the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
The motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 015 is amended. Senate Bill 038 is amended. Senate Bill 082 is amended. Senate Bill 136, Senate Bill 178, Senate Bill 196 is amended. Senate Bill 192, Senate Bill 030 as amended, passed on second reading, order engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1031 passed on second reading and order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Change in sponsorship. The following change in bill sponsorship will occur. Senators Pedersen will be added as a Senate co-prime sponsor with Senator Priola on Senate Bill 082. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate take up Senate Bills 64 and 128 on special orders at the hour of 9:57 a.m.
The motion is that the Senate take up Senate Bill 064 and Senate Bill 128 on special orders at the hour of 09:57. This motion requires a 2/3 majority vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. The Senate will take up special order second reading of bills at 09:57. Special order second reading of bills. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate resolve itself into the committee of the whole for consideration of special order second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. The Senate will resolve itself in the committee of the whole for consideration of special order second reading of bills, and Senator Zenzinger will take the chair.
The committee will come to order, and the court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 64?
Senate Bill 64 by Senators Garcia and Cook and Representative Malka concerning criminalizing retaliation against an elected official.
Senator Cook.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 64 and the Judiciary Committee report.
And there's one more report.
Oh, thank you. And appropriations report.
To the Judiciary Committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Judiciary Committee report just moved some words around, but the main thing was this, as it came out originally, was a Class 4 felony for threatening an elected official, and it was dropped down to a Class 6 felony. And then on the misdemeanor, it went, we created a new misdemeanor for harassing an elected official.
Is there any further discussion on the Judiciary Committee report to Senate Bill 64? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the Judiciary report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the appropriations report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It appropriated the money.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the appropriations report. All those in favor say aye.
What?
Those opposed, no. The aye has it, and the appropriation is adopted. To the bill. Senator President Garcia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I'd encourage an aye vote on this Senate Bill 064. Been happy to work with the good senator from Weld County and work on this important policy. As a number of us know, this work comes sometimes at a cost of for some of our members being harassed and put in awkward situations. And I recognize that the work that we do is not solely based on our passion for wanting to represent a district, but also recognize that it's really important that in many regards our members are given the opportunity to have these protections that are fair and equitable. And in the committee, there was a lot of robust conversations about what that balance should be. I believe that we've struck that balance, and would encourage an aye vote on this.
Senator Cook.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, people have said, well, what makes you so special? But it's not about us. It's not making us any special. But people who run for public office, school boards, city councils, they should not be in fear because they are serving their communities. And this would help, I think, alleviate some of the pressures that are put on them, some of the attacks that are put on them. You know, this is not new. You know, law enforcement or first responders have an elevated crime sentence. Judges, you know, I've said before that an attack on law enforcement is an attack on society itself. An attack on the judge is an attack on the system of our laws and our judiciary. We have hate crimes that increase the penalties, and that is an attack on our civility and our decency. And I believe an assault on an elected official is an attack on our democracy. And so this bill, I think, will help those that run for office and have some consequences for death threats and harassment that elected officials receive at times.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of Senate Bill 64. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and Senate Bill 64 is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 128?
Senate Bill 128 by Senators Colca and Representative Lantine concerning modification of the administration of the Nursing Home Penalty Cash Fund.
Senator Colker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry, Madam President. Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I was right the first time. Okay. All right.
It's all good.
I move Senate Bill 128 with committee reports, appropriations report, and I also have an amendment.
All right, let's start first with the Health and Human Services report. If you can please just tell us what happened in the Health and Human Services Committee. He moved all three, yep, and if we could just, if you want to just tell us what happened in the
Yep,
Health
will
and
do.
Human
Thank you.
Services Committee.
Madam Chair. So this bill, modification to administration of the Nursing Home Penalty Cash Fund.
Just the report.
Oh, the report.
Yep, the Health and Human Services report.
So we did amendments through the Health and Human Services report, technical amendments. 1 second.
Great, is there any further discussion on the report? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the Health and Human Services report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the appropriations report.
The Appropriations Committee appropriated the money in the fiscal note for this bill.
Is there any discussion on the appropriations report? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the appropriations report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. There is an amendment on the desk.
Madam Chair, I move.
Will the clerk please read Amendment L004?
Amendment L004 to Senate Bill.
Senator Colker?
Madam Chair, I move amendment L004 to Senate Bill 21-128.
Great. Tell us about the amendment.
This amendment basically puts back into place what was originally struck from the original bill, so that this grant does not go to any governmental entity.
Is there any discussion on Amendment L004? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Amendment L004. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. To the bill, Senator Colker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 128, modification to administration of the nursing home penalty cash fund, amends state statute to align with federal mandate. A program designed by the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and the Department of Health and Human Services. In the CMS guidelines, the state survey agency, which is CDPHE, is supposed to run the program. In Colorado, this requirement by statute rests with HCPF. Having the federal requirements and the state authority different unnecessarily complicates the processes and leads to delays in approving and administering grant funding. This funding also comes from penalties administered by CMS on nursing homes, and those the grants that come from this program go back into the state. They go back into different programs with nursing homes, and I can give you a few examples. Crisis Prevention Institute, which is the Colorado Skilled Nursing Facility Initiative. This grant provided crisis prevention training to direct care for staff on the information and guidance necessary to de-escalate situations in a non-violent manner. By certifying a select number of the participants as trainers, participating nursing homes will be better able to implement and maintain best practices learned from the training. So one of the grants here. The other issue I want to make members aware of, the federal government says we don't increase these grants, they will take the money back. And there are millions of dollars in this grant program. So this bill will effectively move it over to CDPHE, who has the ability and capacity to administer this grant program. And I urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 128? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 128. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and Senate Bill 128 is adopted. Majority Leader Fenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report has had in consideration the following attached bills being the second reading thereof and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 64 as amended, Senate Bill 128 as amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed in the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
The motion is for the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, and 0 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 064 is amended. Senate Bill 128 is amended, passed on second reading, ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Announcements. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, before other folks give an announcement, we wanted to give a quick update. We expect to get news from the Supreme Court today on the interrogatory that we submitted. And I think that's good news because we were waiting for this and weren't really sure when it was going to happen. There is a wrinkle, though. And that is that we are being told by folks downstairs that we are going to have to act fast. And there's a pretty good chance that we're going to have to come in tomorrow to do that. So if you have flights, if you have plans, I apologize. We had nothing to do with this. The Supreme Court is all powerful and can do whatever they want. So, Mr. President, I'll let the other folks give announcements if they'd like, but I just want to give an update that there's a very good chance we'll be doing a call of the Senate and give everyone an update for when we'll be convening tomorrow.
Mr. Majority Leader, the President has already given the members off Good Friday. Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request to participate remotely tomorrow.
Senator Gorham.
Thank you, Mr. President. Has that bill that we just talked about attacking elected officials taken effect yet? I need to know.
Mr. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. As a fan of the Colorado Avalanche, I wanted to give a shout out to our home team for winning last night 9-3. The Colorado Avalanche are now in first place in the Western Division. It is a rare thing for me as an Avalanche fan to thank the LA Kings for anything, but LA Kings, thank you so much for beating the Vegas Golden Knights and bumping them out of first place. Go Avs.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. My announcement is that today is April 1st.
Senator Phillips.
Good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. I have an announcement. You may know that April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month in America and in our state. Traditionally, we would have the blue pinwheels as a symbol to honor those who support children and families. So today, I'm just asking you to be mindful of how we can protect children in the state of Colorado. Children are our greatest resource, our youth are our greatest resource, and we need to take an active role in supporting safe communities, not only for our children, but for our families. We must recognize that child abuse doesn't have to happen. It can be preventable. And in the environment of COVID, we're seeing an increase of food insecurities. We're seeing an increase as it relates to homelessness. And it's time for us to make sure that we're mindful about what's going on with family and children in the state of Colorado. So April is the beginning of a National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Senate Education Committee will be meeting this afternoon at 1:30. They will be taking up Senate Bill 191 and Senate Bill 116 and listening to some board members be adopted to the COSLE board.
Senator Pedersen.
Thank you, Mr. President. Transportation and Energy will be meeting at 10:45 today.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. No further announcements. Just watch out for that call of the Senate. Will be sometime this afternoon. Mr. President, I move that the Senate, what time is opening day? No, what time? 2? So expected around 2:15, 2:30. So you'll be able to catch maybe half an inning. Mr. President, I move that the Senate recess because we do have some bills to read across. We will not be coming back until April 5th, so feel free to continue with your plans. And we'll recess, Mr. President, until 10:30 a.m.
Members have a safe weekend. You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will stand in recess until 10:30 today.